I love Stardew Valley. Of course I do, why wouldn't I? It's a beautiful, amazing, and wonderful game, being at the same time so peaceful and relaxing, while still managing to be complex and give players some challenge, when they feel like trying one. And you probably know what comes next. I'm not the first and definitely not the last person to make a video about Stardew, so I'm really sorry if you really have enough of this devoid of substance and context praise that every single YouTuber have to give this game when starting a video about it. I just had to do this. You don't know it, but when you're writing something about Stardew, you are literally legally obligated to begin it with some kind of compliment or any form of saying I love this game out loud. But, you know, enough of this rambling. Let's get to the point. When you think about Stardew Valley, what comes to your mind? Maybe it's planting crops, maybe it's descending deeper and deeper into the mines, maybe it's dealing with farming animals, maybe it's talking to one of the many characters that inhabit the valley and its surroundings, maybe it's exploring the map and foraging. I could bring up examples to the rest of this video, quite literally. This game is huge, complex, and has so many things to offer. And to us, players, it means that we usually stick to only few things, and the rest remains untouched and forgotten. For example, I've never really tried making beehives. As spouses I've always been choosing only one of like 3 people, my farm is always a chaotic mess, and I've never ever even touched a single piece of furniture other than that basic ones that you get as a reward from a museum. And, you know, that's perfectly fine. I can live without these things, but some of you probably can't even imagine playing like that. It's part of this game's beauty, that whole freedom and plethora of possibilities that it gives to you every time you boot it up. But I feel like the unfortunate outcome of this freedom for some of you is that many things, mechanics, and even whole play styles can be overlooked and abandoned because on the surface they may seem not so fun, or even boring and uninteresting. One of these things is, of course, fishing, one of my favorite parts of Stardew, and to be honest, kind of reason why I come back to this game every few months. In this video I want to briefly explain to you why fishing is so good and why you should, you know, maybe give it a little chance. So, let's get to it. Reason 1, accessibility. First, let's talk about accessibility of fishing. You just press left button, wait for this green bar above your head to fill up, release button and wait till a fish gets hooked on your rod. When it happens, the next bar pops out, this time on the left side of a screen. You just need to keep the fish in this small, bouncy platform and wait for long enough. And that's it. If you're successful and fish haven't escaped, you can hold your trophy above your head and feel proud of yourself. And if it managed to escape then, well, just click left button again and start all over. You know what they say, there's so many fish in the ocean, or in lake, or in river, or in any other place that you are currently fishing in. From my description it may sound somewhat complicated and hard, but, as you can see on background footage, it's really straightforward and simple. Accessible, you may call it. Just get close to any body of water, use your fishing rod and start pulling out these fishes. Anyone can get the basics in a matter of seconds. Reason 2, profitability. Okay, if previous argument about fishing's simplicity wasn't enough to convince you, watch this. That 1000 gold that I've just added to my in-game wallet is a result of only one day of fishing. Only one day. And as you can see, I have the worst fishing rod in the game. I haven't really leveled up yet, I don't have any baits or anything like that, it's just me, 3 days into the game, going on an all-day binge of fishing and pulling out this sweet 1000 gold. On day 3, may I remind you, you can go foraging, plant as many crops as possible and do all that other early game stuff, but I'm almost completely sure that you won't be able to pull this much money consistently every day, like I did from fishing. And, may I remind you second time, as you level up and improve your skills, amounts of cash that you can milk out of this will only increase. Later even double, heck, quintuple, if you really dedicate yourself to it. So, if not for the fun, try it for the quick buck. Reason 3, complexity. Just look up Stardew Wiki for this one. Fishing, while simple at the surface, becomes so much more complicated and complex once you dive in a little deeper. On screen, you can see examples of what I mean. You have all this water bodies that you can try fishing in the valley, in the desert, in the mines and in other, more hidden and endgame places. Everywhere you go there's water. And everywhere there's water, there are fishes just waiting for you to cast your fishing rod and try to hunt for them. But even if you check out all the places in all different seasons and times of day, there's still so much more. You can buy new fishing rods and then attach to them all those different tackles and baits that all do different things, that you can choose from depending on your situation. You can enhance your performance by leveling up and eating special dishes that will increase your power even more. Trust me, there's so much stuff, that you won't be bored until you get that final Master Angler, an achievement that requires you catching all the fish there are in the game. And just trust me when I say getting this was the hardest thing that I've ever done in Stardew. Even more so than completing Community Center after like 4 years since I've picked up this game for the first time. And while I'm on the topic of the hardest things, let's talk about it too. Reason 4, difficulty. I'm sorry if I scared you with that mention of fishing being the hardest thing I've done in Stardew. While it's genuinely true, for the most part, it's really not that bad. You see, difficulty and challenge in fishing comes mainly from A, trying to catch all that fishes that have these weird and small windows of time in which they appear, and B, trying to catch all the legendary fishes. The legendary fishes. You see, all other fish you can find while casually casting your fishing rod are fairly easy. They may give you some challenge at first, but after you get used to them it's really not a problem. However, there's that small category of fish that are just incredibly hard and painful to catch. Don't worry, you probably won't even stumble upon them in normal gameplay, they are rare and usually appear only under specific circumstances. You have to actively seek for them. And if you decide to do that, oh boy, I wish you good luck with not smashing your keyboard into pieces. They're fast, unpredictable, precise, nervous and just so frustrating to catch. But once you do that, once you can finally flex on all your friends with a screenshot of you holding the legend, the most difficult fish in the entire game, the satisfaction that will fill your entire body will be incomparable to any other moment in Stardew. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I love Stardew Valley. And I love fishing in Stardew Valley. Some of the most memorable moments I ever had in this game all revolve around fishing, just mindlessly casting my fishing rod into the mountain lake near the mines, listening to birds singing on top of the trees, or leaves falling down, dragged by a strong hand of autumn wind. I love this with my whole heart and I just wanted you to try it, and then maybe even start feeling the same way as me. Fishing is kind of an essence of Stardew Valley. It can be really accessible, relaxing, calm and easy, while still remaining complex, deep, and challenging for those that seek those kinds of experiences. It's for everybody, no matter if you just want to listen to music and stare at your fishing rod bouncing happily in fresh, river's water, or maybe try and hunt for that difficult and tough challenge of catching all the in-game fishes. It's for all of you.